What's good, YouTube? Israel coming through another video for y'all. So look, consistency is boring. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Consistency is super boring, but consistency is the only thing that can take you from point A to point B. So if you want to be great, if you aspire to be the best version of yourself, you gotta understand you gotta endure the hard times when you don't feel like waking up, when you don't feel like going to the gym, when you don't feel like working on your craft, your business, whatever it is that you're working on. When it feels boring, when you feel tired of the same routine every single day, you just got to do it anyways. You got to understand that this is what's going to take me to the greatest version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to take you to becoming the best thing that you could possibly be in this world, and creating the best reality for your life. So if you really want that, you're going to be able to put in the work. You're going to be able to stay consistent because you understand, like, okay, it's just a process that I got to go to get to the destination that I really want. Because you know, if you really gave up on the process getting to your destination, you're going to live with regret your whole life. And that's not what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to live a life full of regret, because you're going to be wishing every single day till you die that you showed up for yourself, you stay consistent, and you just overcame hard times. You overcame adversity. You overcame the challenge of going through a routine every single day that's boring. Yes, you're going to get tired. Yes, you're not going to feel like working. Yes, you're not going to feel like putting in the work, but that's what you got to do to get to that next level. So do you really want to get to that next level? And I bring up this question every single day. Do you really want the life that you are choosing? Do you really want that life? Because you got to understand, what comes with being great is you can't be like everybody else. So while everybody else is taking days off, you got to take days on. You know what I'm saying? You got to be looking for extra days to pick up. You got to be looking for an extra hour to put in work. That's how your mindset got to be. Because if you want to be anything other than the average, you got to think like that. You got to be the best. You got to be the greatest. You got to think like, okay, how can I use more time to work on my goals? How can I get an advantage over anybody else trying to get in the same position as me? That's the mindset you got to have. Because if you want to be great in this world, nobody's going to do it for you. You got to do it for yourself. So when things are boring, when you get tired of being tired, you just got to keep going. You got to keep your head up and just keep pushing towards something great. Because that's what you want, right? You want greatness, right? You got to strive for greatness. You got to be great. So every action that you do, every choice that you make, it got to be a choice that benefits you and gets you closer to your destination, your dream life. You want all these things. You want to feed your family. You know what I'm saying? You want a better car. You want a better house. You want to be a better person who has integrity. You want to be looked up as. You know what I'm saying? You want people to look up as you as a respectable human being. So if you really want that, you got to put the work in. You know what I'm saying? You can't cater to your feelings. You know what I'm saying? You got to show up for yourself, be consistent, even though when you don't really feel like being consistent. I know what it feels like to be tired. I know what it feels like to really not want to wake up in the morning, but you just got to do it anyways. I know what that feels like. You know what I'm saying? You're not an exception. Everybody goes through the same feelings. The most successful people in the world go through the same feelings that you go through. The only difference is the choice that they make. We have free will. You got the choice to make whatever decision that you want to make in life, and you get to choose, okay, do I want to show up for myself today? You know what I'm saying? Do I want to continue the process of becoming great, or do I want to give up on my goals? Do I want to give up on my dreams? Little do you know, every choice that you make either brings you closer to your destination or it pulls you away. So you just got to be aware of every decision that you make. Are you making the decision to be great today, or are you making the decision to be average? You got to have a 100% success rate in your decision making skills. What do I mean by that? I mean, every single choice that you make, it got to be a choice that is a choice that allows you to be great. Every choice got to be a great choice. You can't have no days where you're choosing to be average, because then you lack consistency, and you lack consistency, you won't get anywhere in life. So you got to be consistent with anything. Anything that you choose to do in life, you got to be consistent to really get the fruits of your labor. To really see a life-changing difference, to really change your reality, you have to show up for yourself, be consistent, and do it even when you don't feel like doing it. You got to really understand that every choice you make pulls you away or brings you closer to your destination. And once you realize that, once you really understand that, once it really gets into your head and you really just understand that every choice I make matters, you will stop making the wrong choices. Because every time you make a wrong choice, you're bringing your life to where you feel regret. You know what I'm saying? Every choice that you make that doesn't benefit your future in a positive direction, you're gonna regret it. You may not feel that regret in the current moment, but you will regret it later in life. You're gonna be telling yourself, wow, I had all this time to do this, all this time to do that, but I chose not to. And that's what's gonna stop you from being great. So make the right decision every single day. Be consistent. Show up when you don't feel like showing up, and improve every single day. Embrace the boring routine. Embrace the boring routine. Embrace being alone, because it's a lonely journey. You know what I'm saying? But being alone isn't a bad thing. Being alone just means you're free of distractions. You don't have anybody to distract you from getting the things that you want out of life. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at being alone as a great thing. If you're alone, nobody can take you off your path. Nobody can take you off your purpose. You know how many people actually pray to be alone? So understand that being alone isn't a bad thing. Stop looking at it in a negative way. Being alone is a positive thing, you know what I'm saying, because you have no distractions. You have nothing to focus on but your goals, your finances, your business, your craft. Whatever it is that you're passionate about, if you're alone, work on that. 24/7 hours out the day, that's what your mind should be focused on. If you choose to focus on anything else, you're choosing to be distracted. You're choosing to choose pleasure over purpose. And that's not walking in the authority that God called you to be in. So if you want to get the things that you want out of life, if you want to be great, focus up, stay consistent, and embrace the boring routines every single day. Consistency is boring. If y'all like this video, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all comment, make sure y'all subscribe, and y'all go follow my Instagram.